Welcome to Midnight True Tales, where true stories are stranger than fiction. Turn off the lights, and now, let's begin. What happened that night in late 2025 still haunts me to this day, because I cannot explain what I saw outside that house. At the time, my partner and I were living in a very small outhouse on the edge of a quiet property surrounded by trees. The place was old, isolated, and honestly unsettling at night, but it was affordable and close enough to work, so we stayed there longer than we probably should have. I worked long shifts back then, and my sleep schedule was terrible. Some nights, I would come home completely exhausted after work, barely able to keep my eyes open, only to end up laying awake for hours unable to sleep. Weekends were even worse, because my body clock was completely ruined. I would stay awake until 3 or 4 in the morning, while my partner slept peacefully beside me. The house itself was tiny. There was a small kitchen connected to the living room, one narrow hallway, a bedroom, and a bathroom with pipes that made strange noises in the middle of the night. But the part of the house I remember most clearly was the living room window. It was huge. The couch sat directly beside it, and from there I could see almost the entire front lawn outside. Beyond the lawn was a gravel path leading toward the entrance of the property, and further away was a curved road surrounded by trees and bushes. At night, the only real light outside came from a single street lamp near the bend in the road. The orange glow barely reached the house, but it illuminated just enough to make silhouettes visible in the darkness. I remember one Friday night in particular. I had just gotten home after an exhausting shift at work. My entire body hurt, and I remember telling my partner I was finally going to sleep early for once. But of course, that didn't happen again. By around 2 in the morning, I was still wide awake. My partner had already fallen asleep in the bedroom, while I sat alone in the living room, wrapped in a blanket watching some random movie on the laptop. The house was completely silent. No passing cars, no people outside, no television noises, nothing. Just the soft audio from my movie and the occasional creaking sounds old house make late at night. At first, everything felt normal. Then I heard thunk, a dull sound from somewhere outside. I paused the movie immediately and listened carefully. Silence. I looked out the window, but couldn't see anything moving near the lawn or pathway. A few seconds later, thunk. This time, it sounded slightly closer. I remember sighing and amusing it was probably raccoon or some other animals wandering around outside. The area had plenty of wildlife, so random noises during the night weren't unusual. I pressed play on the movie again and tried to ignore it. About 15 minutes later, the motion sensor light outside suddenly switched on. The brightness immediately caught my attention. I looked toward the front entrance, expecting to see an animal near the steps, but there was nothing there. The entire front area was completely empty. After several seconds, the light automatically turned off again. I remember feeling slightly uneasy after that. Not scared exactly, just uncomfortable. like my instinct were trying to warn me about something before my brain understood why. I tried focusing back on the movie, but after that, I kept glancing toward the window every few seconds. The silence outside suddenly felt wrong. Too quiet. There was no wind moving through the trees, no insect, no distant traffic, nothing. It honestly felt like the entire world outside the house has gone still. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, I got this overwhelming feeling that somebody was watching me. Every hair on my arms stood up instantly. My stomach dropped. I stared outside again, scanning the lawn and the road carefully. But there was nobody there. Still, the feeling wouldn't go away. It felt like someone was standing somewhere just beyond the darkness, where I couldn't fully see them. Then the motion sensor's light switched on again. This time, I jumped so badly I nearly dropped my laptop. Now, I was genuinely scared. My first thought was that someone might be trying to break into the house. I didn't want whoever was outside see me sitting alone in a brightly lit room, so I stood up quickly and turned off the living room lamp. The room went dark instantly. Now, the only light came from my laptop screen and the distant orange street lamp outside. I slowly walked back toward the couch, and that's when I saw it. At first, my brain genuinely couldn't process it, what I was looking at. Near the road, partially illuminated by the streetlight, was the silhouette of what looked like a woman, but something about her looked horribly wrong. She was crouched low to the ground in a natural way. No sitting, no kneeling, squatting. Her limbs looked bent, strangely almost animal-like. And her hair was extremely long, hanging down over her entire face, so heavily that I couldn't see any features at all. No eyes, no mouth, nothing. Just darkness beneath strands of hair. She was facing directly toward the house, toward me, completely still. I remember feeling my entire body freeze. I couldn't move at all. I couldn't breathe properly. I couldn't even look away. Every instinct inside me was screaming that something was deeply wrong. Then, suddenly, it moved. And the way it moved is the reason I still think about that night constantly. It didn't stand up like a normal person. It crawled, fast, on all fours, like some kind of animal. One second, it was crouched near the road staring toward the house, and the next, it darted sideways into the darkness beside the trees. The movement was so unnatural that my brain almost refused to process what I had just seen. I sat frozen on the couch, staring toward the darkness where it disappeared. I genuinely thought it was going to come back, or worse, appear right outside the window. I don't know how long I stayed frozen there. Maybe a minute, maybe longer. Eventually, my body snapped out of it all at once. I grabbed my blanket, nearly tripped over the couch, and ran straight into the bedroom. My partner woke up confused while I tried to explain what I had seen. At first, he thought I was overreacting or maybe just exhausted from lack of sleep. But when he saw how terrified I was, he immediately got up and checked outside through the bedroom window. Nothing was there. The yard was empty, the road was empty. The motion light had turned off again. Everything looked completely normal. I refused to go back into the living room for the rest of the night. Even with all the bedroom lights on, I couldn't stop imagining that thing standing somewhere outside the house watching the windows. The next morning, sunlight made everything feel almost ridiculous. The property looked normal again, safe. I even walked outside searching for footprints or some kind of explanation. But there was nothing. No disturbed grass, no footprints, nothing near the road where I saw the figure crouching. After that night, though I never felt comfortable in that house again. Every time the motion sensor light turned on, unexpectedly my heart would start racing. Every strange sound outside terrified me. And every night before closing the curtains, I found myself staring toward the curved road, wondering if I would see that figure again. Thankfully, I never did. My partner and I eventually moved away from that property, and nothing like that has happened since. But even now, years later, I still think about what I saw beneath that streetlight. I know what exhaustion feels like. I know what anxiety feels like. And I know what hallucinations are. This was not that. I know what I saw. Whether it was some disturbed person wandering around outside at night, something pretending to be human, or something far worse. I honestly don't know, but I will never forget the way it looked, and I will never forget the way it moved. And that's the end of our story. If you enjoyed, do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. We upload every Monday and Thursday. Until then, stay safe and I will meet you again.